fascination out there in the world today about just living a simple life. In fact, there's reality shows about the lifestyle of the Amish. So what is that fascination of a simple life? And why do people want to live a simple life?
It's the Amish are the fastest growing society in America, and I had no clue of that.
I had no clue.
Right. I ran into some Amish girls coming out of the mall into a store that I was going. And my first thought was, bless their hearts, because of the long dress, the hair and the bun, until two regular girls walked by with barely any clothes on cell phones and almost knocked me down.
And I'm
thinking, bless their hearts. I think there needs to be some balance here.
Well, balance is the key. I think you can go to any extreme no matter where you are. You can go to the extreme. So I think there's balance is a good term for that. I think, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're right. I think what's interesting about the Amish lifestyle is that simplistic lifestyle that people are choosing. And when I look at our economy, it's still recovering from the 2008, financial crisis. And, there may be people just wanting to choose a lifestyle that is not based on money because so many people lost things and went through. And I think that's maybe one of the reasons why the Amish lifestyle seems to be more attractive, now to a society of people who are now choosing to, live a more simple life.
Well, maybe they are. Maybe they're taking the focus off of the material possessions and putting that on building the memories of life with their family.
I think what people are attracted to also with the Amish community is their meekness, just their humility. And I can a little bit identify with their farming way of life because my grandparents were farmers in South Georgia, so I spent a lot of time on the farm. And they put up all their own vegetables every summer. We worked very hard, and they would wake us up at 6 a.m. to go out and work in the field. And my grandfather put up hogs every November. My mom tells me, don't tell
the Mennonites down in South Georgia. We have the Mennonite community.
And they live off the land.
Very much the same lifestyle with only 15 miles from us. And we go there a lot to their restaurant.
Yeah, and we may all have to learn to live off the land, as things progress, as time progresses, we don't know.
But we're all different. I don't think that simple is for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I know my husband and I just go, and people say, my gosh, doesn't that drive you crazy? But I think we're all different. If I slow down too much, and when I slow down too much, I almost just get lethargic. I can't do it. I've got to have that adrenaline going in me personally to keep me going. So simple is not my way.
What we've gotten used to, because if you ever go into a third world country or another country and you see how simply people live, I mean, I've actually been places where they were living in tin cans or in grass huts, and they don't have dishwashers and they don't have all these things, and they seem to be content. And mine broke this week. My dishwasher broke this week, and my first thing was I got to go get another one.
And Dawn, you're right. You're right. When I was in Africa last year and I was on a mission trip there, I did see that, and I did come back with a sense of appreciation for doing without and doing with less and seeing how people live. But the contentment is the issue. I think that is where, no matter where we are, it's being content with what you do have and not going in debt. We've talked about that before. But the Amish, there's some things about them that I was reading up on that I did feel was a little over extreme. They only have an 8th grade education, for instance. And so their teachers are only to the 8th grade. So the teachers teaching the children to the 8th grade only have 8th grade education. So I think there's
They have no electricity, do they?
They have no electricity.
Some sects don't have any electricity. There are some that do. So there's a little bit of difference. Some are a little bit more stringent than others, and we've gotten used to it. We've gotten used to electricity. How many of us could live without
the cell phones and all the social media?
They have no TV, so how do they watch all their Amish shows, like the Amish Mafia? And
I'm going to watch them.
Actually, I saw where the governor of Pennsylvania he condemned that show, and he called for it to come off the air because it was so offensive to the Amish community. So I don't watch it.
Well, you talk about a simple life, and I read somewhere, you can, even if you're going out into the woods and you're killing an animal and you're gonna, you still have to clean it. You've got to cook it. There's nothing simple about that either.
No, there's a lot of work to that.
There's a lot of work
killing
to that.
squirrel and
Yeah, so no matter what you do, there is stress involved.
That's
you can have anxiety no matter what type of lifestyle that you have.
Exactly.
You got me sitting here, I tried to turn the air conditioner down, and it just, you know, I can't do it.
It kind of goes back to being material. We've gotten accustomed to a certain way. They've gotten accustomed to it. That doesn't, I don't know if it bothers them or not, but obviously they're staying. If they're the largest growing society, they've gotten used to it and they like it.
Okay, I'm not criticizing that lifestyle. I don't live in that lifestyle, but I am saying there's some things that concern me about it.
Yes.
I know that they really isolate themselves, and when somebody leaves the sect, they cannot have any communication with their family. And God doesn't call us into isolation. He calls us into connection.
Yeah.
And to me, you can't relate to them. It's very difficult, and we're supposed to be disciples.
Right.
You know, we're supposed to be in the world, not of the world, but we are supposed to be in the world.
That's true. We got to reach the people, and we can't reach it in our own little community if we're not. But I'm going to tell you something. In the Mennonites down in South Georgia, the women work outside the home. They work in the hospital. They work in some of the restaurants in town.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I know that.
And I run into them in Walmart.
Yeah.
So they do leave their little how many acres they have, you know.
But can you
But they do
relate to
leave.
them?
No.
Can you really go? Are
But
they
I've never really
approachable?
tried, Ann.
Because you don't feel like you can approach them because they are so different. And I'm not saying that's
Yeah.
good for them. I'm simply saying that, you know, Paul says, I'm all things to all men so that I may save a few. You know, we've got to think about, you know, we don't want to be so different
But
from
I
the
think
world,
we can
even as
learn from
Christians.
them that, you know, they're they're humble people and they're grateful people and they're content.
I don't know what they believe. I don't know what their belief is.
Well,
with
they do say they're Christian. They
They're
believe
Christian
in
belief.
yes, right. But they're grateful people, for content
are.
people with what they have. And I was
humble.
thinking again about my grandfather. He would push back from the table after a meal and he would say, "I've had an elegant sufficiency."
Oh, I like that.
And I just love that. You know,
Wow.
it'd just be a simple cornbread and beans
Yes.
meal, but I've had an elegant
Well, growing
sufficiency.
up, we
and I want to
always
learn
said
that.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Every meal,
Right.
I would get up and say, "Mama, I enjoyed that." We were taught to say that. I enjoyed that.
teach
I still do that.
gratitude.
I still do
that
that.
wasn't
The
me.
simple
Should've
life.
been.
It is the simple life. And I think for us in our fast-paced society, there is a little bit of us that is intrigued by that and wonder, could I
It's the
do it?
mystery of
Could
it.
I do
It's the
that? Could I
mystery.
live that way and be content?
I could be content with a lot less materialistically. I couldn't be content slowing down. Now, I love physical labor. I have never had a problem with getting out and, you know, digging a ditch or whatever I need to do, build shoe shelves, whatever would need to be done in the barn, clean out the horse stalls. I don't have a problem with that. Matter of fact, I love it. I love
Yes.
physical labor because that
Yes.
does make you happy. So I
It
think
does.
there's something in that.
It does.
But I still want to get in my car with my air conditioning
All
on.
right. And hit the road.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this, and please, Amish people, do not write the show, but it seems like it's such a disconnected lifestyle.
Very.
You know.
Well, it
Isolated.
is, and I think it's intentionally set that way.
But, you know, I still love the Amish people, you know. I still love you.
Hey, what's the crime rate among them? Do they even have a crime rate?
I don't know the
Do they
crime
even have
rate.
an Amish police?
It would be less, but no, they don't. They solve most of their problems within their community, and that's
So they
another
don't even
thing.
report it if there's a theft.
Most of the time, they don't. They deal with it, and I think their greatest judgment is shunning. That means excommunicating someone. They have no contact with
Okay,
their
we
family.
got to go right there. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. Thank you.